Fellow Kenyans, I want us to reason out on some issues, especially on this matter of BBI. And I want us to ask ourselves a few questions. Why is the current president so much concerned about this BBI amendment bill? Why all this push that we must pass this thing? Why are we being? Why does it appear like it's a do or die situation for the President Uhuru Kenyatta? And I want us also to think about some very, very delicate proposals that we find in the BBI amendment bill. You know, remember, President Uhuru Kenyatta has been in power for 8 years. He has ruled this nation with the current constitution, the 2010 constitution, that abolished the imperial presidency. He has done so for 8 years. My question is, what is this just an all of a sudden about turn? And he feels that the next president should have the imperial or imperialism. Why such concern when he's just about to retire? And I suspect these powers that the president is trying to introduce through the BBI amendments, the constitutional amendments, I highly suspect that this could be a ploy for the president to extend his term in office. Because I highly doubt how he can be so passionate and concerned to just bring powers that we know have made our country remain behind in terms of development during the Moi era, and he wants now to reintroduce them through the amendment of the constitution when he himself will not enjoy such powers. I strongly suspect that there could be a hidden card that they want us to pass the BBI, and then they sneak in a scheme to change law somehow, even through parliament, and make the president continue in power after 2022. In fact, let us, as Kenyans, try to think about, maybe somebody is asking, how is the BBI bringing back the imperial presidency? Number one, it is good to note that this new seat that is being introduced, the seat of the position of the prime minister, the power to appoint, to nominate the prime minister has been given to the president himself. Remember, the prime minister will be nominated by the president, then voted by parliament, and he must pass in parliament by 50% of the members of parliament. If the parliament does not agree with the president's nominee, they will go for a second nominee. If they still don't agree with the second one, then the president is left, the choice is left now to the president without even the input of the parliament. And the BBI says that the president shall appoint a person as a prime minister, a person whom, in his own opinion, feels that he commands respect in parliament. That simply tells us that the veto power to appoint or to nominate the prime minister rests in the presidency. The president, through the BBI, has also been given another the power that we abolished by introduction of 2010 constitution, because parliament has now been denied the power to vet and approve the cabinet ministers. Why would the president be so concerned that the next president should not be denied or should be given the power to appoint ministers without vetting? And remember, it is good to remember that the parliament was given that power to vet so that we make sure that the cabinet ministers that are appointed by the president meet the qualifications and they also pass the integrity test, so that we don't have goons and people who are not qualified as the members of cabinet. Why is the president now so much concerned that he wants now to have this parliament, the power of parliament done away with? Another way that the BBI brings imperialism is by jeopardizing the independence of the judiciary. I mean, the current constitution has ensured that there is the separation of power and the judiciary operates independently. Now, the BBI proposes the introduction of the judiciary's ombudsman, whose appointing authority or the appointing authority again is the president. And why would our president be so concerned that the next president should be given power to appoint a prefect of the judiciary? Kenyans, we need to be very smart this time round, because these people whom are usually referred to as the deep state wametuchezea mara mingi sana. Now they are telling us and they are pushing us that we must pass BBI first before 2022. Anybody who is trying to suggest that we should have a referendum together with the 2022 general election, they are just being considered like they are lunatics. Why so? I simply believe, I suspect that this deep state and the system, the owners of the BBI, they want to extend the term in office of President Uhuru Kenyatta. Now, I think it is our high time, Kenyans, we make sure that we protect our constitution as much as we can. It is, and the only way to protect our constitution against being mutilated by these forces of darkness is by ensuring that we do away with this BBI. And this will happen during the referendum. Let us keep this conversation going. Let us not be taken for fools. It is important we protect our constitution and our country. Why would, by the way, be going out of his way to even spend Kenyans, the taxpayers' money to bribe MCAs, to pay, to use state machineries to do campaigns for the BBI? He is even willing to go ahead and bribe even you as a voter to ensure that the BBI passes. I want to tell you, and I want to warn Kenyans, that we are just about to experience a Uganda, a Museveni in Kenya. That is the way, the route we are treading, we are just about to get to. It's also important to remember that under the President Uhuru Kenyatta's regime, we have seen in the recent past, he has started operating in a manner that suggests that he wants to militarize our country. He has gone ahead to militarize even our own city. We had a democratically elected governor of Nairobi. Today, Nairobi is headed by a military man. Why is the president militarizing our country? We saw the other day a parastatal like Kenya Meat Commission being given or being put under the military. I wonder how on earth. Imagine nyama zinapelekwa kwa military. It's simply, and I strongly believe that there are some businesses that are being done, shoddy businesses being done, and they don't want, because they know that there are no proper audits being done by in the forces. That's why they have to make sure that this thing is under the forces. So there are already indicators that are showing us that we are headed for the President Uhuru's term being extended. You have also seen situations during these by-elections that have been going on. Anybody who is going against a candidate of the state, the police forces are being misused. And that is exactly what we are just about to experience after 2022. So, Kenyans, let us be aware of the scheme. Let us say no to these constitutional reviews. And it is very easy. I know there could be a plan by these state organs, by the deep state, to reintroduce a government of national, what they would call a government of national unity, by introducing a national accord through parliament next year, so that they tell us that the country is ungovernable. Most likely, there is likelihood of having state-sponsored violence, so that they tell us that the country is not governable, and we can now have a scheme that we don't go for presidential election in 2022, and instead we introduce a government of national unity akin to what we had in 2008. Such, there are all these manner of ways that they can use. They can use all manner of ways to extend the term of the president through backdoor. And this is what we must say no to. So let us keep this conversation going, and we shall be able to have our nation moving forward. I thank you.